first what we can expect with your new book, and then maybe what, if there's any research or organizations that you're kind of alluding to what they have, or the research that they've already produced, and maybe that has to do with what the content of.
Yeah, so just the quick kind of pitch here is that the climate scientists tell us that basically to keep warming to 2 degrees or less will basically require us to decarbonize the global economy by around 2050. We have a stock of greenhouse gases, and we're kind of working through that stock. And once we do, it's going to be very hard to keep warming below 2 degrees. That's a very tough lift if you really think about what that means. So what we do in the book is we look at the 6 major sectors that are greenhouse gas emitters, and we go through them individually and talk about the degree to which we see disruption taking place, and using this kind of language and the economics of disruption as a benchmark to try to understand those industries, try to make predictions of the likelihood that we can achieve that. So, take an industry I'm probably the most optimistic on is transportation, and particularly automobiles. That the electrification of automobiles seems to be continuing apace, and it is not unbelievable to think that we could actually get a transition there to a purely electric transportation world. Again, policy is going to play a role. That's no guarantee, but there's a good trend line there. Renewable energy is another one. The electrical generation, again, there's some positive headwinds there that should give us some hope. But again, it's going to take a concerted effort, and policy is going to play a role again. We then begin to get into some areas that are actually tougher. I mentioned agriculture before. Agriculture is about 1/5 of all greenhouse gas emissions in the world, significant generator. It's challenging because there's literally millions of farms out there. And so you're talking about changes in technology and behavior on a very distributed sense. Another one that we dive into is industrials, in particular things like steel and cement. These are backbones to our industrial world, and they are greenhouse gas emitters. In some cases, there are some technologies that could help us decarbonize, and in others, there's nothing, at least right now, that seems to be economically viable that would lead to that transition. So again, our main message is we have to think about transitions to new sustainable technologies, and we have to think about the path to that and the timing of that, because the timing is quite short when you really start to think about it. And so our hope is to just suggest a wide number of mechanisms, again, both public and private, that can try to help generate and drive these transitions in these various sectors that are going to need to make modifications if we're going to take the 2050 seriously.